At Ruther Middle School. It's election day in Rochester Hills, and we wanted to talk to you, Lorraine, because on Monday you received the ruling from the Secretary of State regarding the Taxpayers for Accountability decision, correct?
Correct.
And basically, when did you start that procedure as far as filing the complaint?
Well, once I ran for city council twice, I learned the rules and regulations that people are supposed to follow, and when I reviewed that flyer, I knew they had not been following what they were supposed to, and I had a right as a voter to know who funded the two flyers, negative flyers that came out about candidates, the incumbents in November of 2009. It was done last minute, and it didn't give them a fair response to be able to address it to the people before they voted. So I filed a complaint. I believe the complaint was submitted on November 21st, 2009. They have an opportunity to reply to the complaint, and they did that with a delay and an extension, and then I have a rebuttal, anybody who would file a complaint with the Secretary of State to what they had claimed, and the Secretary of State then found fault with what they chose to do. So basically their tactics were illegal.
Okay, so the hearing was in Lansing on June 7th, as I remember.
Correct.
And you were a witness at that hearing, and Mike Bosnick was the attorney representing Taxpayers for Accountability.
Right. Taxpayers for Accountability has an executive director called Andy Porter, and he lives in Addison, has no connections with Rochester Hills. And then he has Mike Bosnick, who is an attorney representing them, but also seems to be pretty involved with Taxpayers for Accountability in this whole process as I'm as I'm finding information out. And
And Bosnick is also a county commissioner for Oakland County, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
He's won that election after this process had started, so I believe he's in his second year of, so he'll be up for re-election the next time around.
So what was the decision that the Secretary of State the hearing officer came to? What's the result of the whole process?
On Monday I received the written ruling from the hearing officer, and it basically said that yes, indeed, this Taxpayers for Accountability need to file a formation of committee. They need to disclose who funded them in all of their activities and what expenditures they have done as a committee, and pay all late fees and a $4,000 fine. $1,000 for that's the highest they can assess them for each of the infractions with the campaign finance laws of Michigan. So the total amount of cash that they're asked to pay to the treasurer's office is almost $8,000.
And this has to do with the flyer that came out at the end of the last election cycle that attacked Eric Ambrositis and Jim Rosen, and to vote no on the slate.
Right.
Right.
And since I went through this process of filing the complaint, I have received quite a bit of intimidation and pressure to remain quiet, to not continue it. I really feel strongly that the voters of Rochester Hills deserves better, to understand who is supporting whom, be out there in the open. None of this underbelly of the poor politics in our city. And if everybody could understand the responsibility of a voter, how much we have to monitor these elections. Nobody else will do it unless we file and start the process going. After that, I had no involvement in it and didn't deserve all this intimidation. And once I was able to clear that up through your help, Bruce, I appreciate that. The intimidation has seemed to cease at this point. No more threatening letters, threatening to sue me, and hang-up calls. I was getting about 25 a month where they just harassing me and then hang up.
And you just so to be clear, you're a Republican, correct?
Yes, I'm a.
And you've been pretty active in the Republican Party.
Yes, and when I started this, I had no idea who Taxpayers for Accountability was, and I'm not going to stop just because they're of one party or another. Right is right and wrong is wrong, and their actions were illegal, and I'll do everything I can to hold them accountable. And I just stress that everybody, every voter needs to know who's funding what and those outcomes. It's very important to get out and vote.
Okay, thanks a lot.